The NBA here on 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat up against Pau Gasol and the Los Angeles Lakers. And now let's turn it over to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke at the arena. I'll have more for you at halftime.
Two teams, two conferences. It's a road game for the Heat in this one. It's Laker basketball at the Staples Center. Beautiful day outside. We are live in downtown Los Angeles. This is Kevin Harlan here to call the action. With me, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. So the opening lineup for the Heat presented by State Farm. LeBron and Bosh are the 3 and the 4. Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. And it's Anthony in at the 5. And for the Lakers, Pau and Bynum filling up the middle. Kobe and Artest are the wingmen, and it's Fisher in at the point.
Well, you know, a recent stat said that in the last 15 years, the Lakers are on average the best offense in the NBA. But in crunch time, ironically, they fall to around 12th best offensively. Not nearly as effective.
And so the tip-off, it's Miami. Chalmers with it. He's covered by Fisher. LeBron outside. This one for 3. And the shot is good. LeBron's now got the first points up on the board for the Heat. Going back to the Lakers and their letdown as far as crunch time offense goes. Good point by you. Steve, you take it now. Why do you think that's so?
Well, I think Kobe's not the player that he once was, Kevin. I mean, he's not as athletic. He's not as capable as he used to be getting shots off against any type of defense. And I think the rest of the guys maybe lost a little confidence in themselves as a result.
Here's Chalmers after Pau Gasol's bucket. We'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Mike Brown. What's the news there, Doris?
Kevin, mixing up their offensive sets is going to be a part of their game plan in this one. Coach told me that in order to beat a defense of this caliber and talent level, they'll need to keep their trips down the floor unpredictable and not get into any sort of pattern. Let's see if they can do it, Kevin.
Thanks for getting back to us on that report, Doris. Guys?
You know, it's really important not to be afraid of the defense over there. I mean, you can't be playing in a fearful fashion. You just got to pick your spots and execute.
Yeah, and be aggressive. You know, you're right, Clark. You can't be intimidated by the speed and strength of this defense. You got to have confidence and take your shots when they're there and attack the lanes when you got an opportunity.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami.
You know, you go back to the finals, and I think Bosh certainly was a factor on the floor. He didn't have the best shooting percentage, but he got better as that series wore on.
Here's Wade. The pass to LeBron. Guarded down by Andrew Bynum. Got that one up quick. LeBron's now got 5 points so far.
Well, going back to Bosh, guys, in the finals, he was inconsistent with his shooting percentage, but he had stretches where he was really good. And he hit that game-winning shot in Game 3. I thought he was overall pretty solid for the Heat last season and in the playoffs.
Wade passes to Bosh. Back to Wade. He's covered by Fisher. The fader. And it's Miami with another.
Now, you can't give him any space out there.
Here's Fisher. Right around. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Pass to Bynum. It's stolen by Wade. Solo break. Here's Chalmers. And he lays it up and in. Here's Kobe.
You got to wonder, has Miami set off a bit of an arms race in regards to talent with what they were able to pull off last year? Are other teams going to look to stack stars just to try to keep up? Certainly not the dream start they were hoping for, going 1 for 4 early.
The Heat leading by 7. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Mark, you brought up the stars wanting to play with each other. You know, Steve, it seems like that is the trend now in the NBA.
Well, I think every player wants to play with great players. And it's all circumstantial, really. If you're a free agent and there's a team with cap room and you've got a partner who you want to play with and you can work it all out like Miami did, then that's great. But I think those circumstances are going to be few and far between. Well, there's so many questions a year ago about the Miami Heat and how the pieces would fit, in particular how Wade and LeBron would work out together. And I think they figured it out as the course of the year went on, and Wade ended up playing most of his minutes at the 2-guard spot.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Lamar Odom, he's checked in for Bynum, and Matt Barnes is subbed in for Ron Artest. Both free throws good from Wade. As we get back to Wade, Clark, is he best, as Steve was talking about, is he best at shooting guard?
No question about it. I mean, that's what he does. He attacks, he keeps pressure on the defense, he can make tough shots, he can draw fouls, and off of his ability to be aggressive looking to score, then he can get other people's shots. But he's most suited to putting the ball in the basket.
Now here's LeBron. He has 5. Shot clock at 6. Wade kicks to Haslam, and stolen by Fisher.
Now, part of the reason they are where they are is that they have taken care of the ball for the most part.
LeBron against Odom. They need this. And in he goes for the easy 2. Odom's got his first bucket in this one.
Now, last time Mike Brown coached in the NBA was with the 2010 Cavaliers. LeBron James's last year with Cleveland. And Mike Brown had a pretty good record with the Cavs. He even won Coach of the Year in 2009.
LeBron dishes to Bosh. Now Chalmers. He dishes it to Wade. Here's LeBron. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. 7 points for LeBron. We're getting back to Brown for just a second. Clark, a couple of 60-win teams under his watch, while in Cleveland, of course, LeBron James is there with him.
Yeah, exactly, and that bodes well going forward. Unfortunately, he was not able to translate those 60-win seasons into a championship. But there are a lot of factors that come into winning a championship. I don't think you can disparage Mike Brown at all because he did a terrific job in getting those teams to the level he got them to. And that experience will serve him well as he tries to help the Lakers win another championship.
And the technical free throw is good.
When you talk about that great front court depth for the Lakers, all that length, rebounding, their ability to really crash the glass. And they were actually the 5th best rebounding team in the NBA last year in terms of rebounding differential.
Shannon Brown, he's checked in for the Lakers. Blake comes in for Derek Fisher. Then for the Heat, Joel Anthony's checked in for Bosh. Eddie House subbed in for Mario Chalmers. Here is House. 6 on the shot clock. Wade outside. And he can't extend the lead to double digits. And Steve, you were talking about that differential, 2.5 extra possessions in their favor because of it. And Clark, for the Lakers, already a very good team offensively. That rebounding advantage, those extra possessions, more often than not, lead to a basket.
Well, they've got such tremendous size. When you look at Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum, you throw in Lamar Odom. I mean, those guys are long, really good rebounders at both ends, but particularly on the offensive glass. And, you know, anytime you get an offensive rebound, usually those defenders are scrambled, and you're going to be able to get a high-quality shot.
Takes it right up. A nice shot by LeBron. LeBron's now got 9.
And I think defensively, you've got to commit a second defender because he's just destroying you right now.
Yeah, one-on-one, he's been a handful.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. It's the Heat, up by 8.
And I thought they...
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Here's Blake. So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. Joel Anthony is out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's Chalmers. Then it's Mike Miller. And it's House in at the 2-guard spot.
Well, I tell you, I mean, you have Powell and Kobe on the Lakers, but when you talk about the pop culture notoriety, that probably belongs to Lamar Odom, #1 in that category because of his reality TV presence. He's added an additional Hollywood flair to his role on the roster.
And the first one drops. Well, Clark back to Odom. I don't like talking about this stuff. It only seems natural,
I know
of
it's
course.
tough. I know it's tough.
You know, it seems natural, though, to have, I guess, what, a Laker in Los Angeles be on a reality TV show for some reason. You know, the second choice, if it wasn't Lamar, would have been Steve Kerr. Right, Steve?
Kevin, I think the story of my life and my daily existence would be fascinating for viewers. I think we'd see probably a viewership of at least 11, maybe 12 people, all family members.
There's the dish to Blake. There's the three. And Artest with the basket on the assist by Blake. Artest's got himself on the board with 3 there. And here is Chalmers. Miller outside. No one near him. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers.
Good team play there. You move the ball until you find the right shot for the right person.
They're a well-oiled machine, Steve. I mean, working extremely well as a cohesive unit. Every pass delivered on time and on target. A lot of ball movement and player movement. It's a thing of beauty.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, Kevin, in speaking with Pau Gasol, he feels like the Lakers function better when they're distributing the scoring around. His quote, "I think we're more effective and more successful when our offense is balanced and everyone's contributing." He said we tend to get in trouble when the offense gets stagnant and we stand around and watch Kobe. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. A lot of weapons, certainly, at the Lakers' disposal.
You know, with the players they have, you keep moving the ball around, somebody's going to score. I mean, there's just too much talent. Well, I thought last season was a tough one for Ron Artest. I mean, he struggled with the shot. And even his defense was a little subpar and not as consistent as we've seen in the past.
Ron Artest taking 2 shots.
That one is off. And Clark, for Artest last season, as he struggled, some of the coaches' critiques played out in the media. Steve, I don't think Ron appreciated that very much.
No, there was even a rumor that he might have wanted a trade prior to the All-Star break. But, fortunately for L.A. and for Artest, he started to play much better after the All-Star break. He got more consistent and finished strong. And, he's still a guy who can help the Lakers just with his physical play and his toughness. The Lakers have their hands full guarding against LeBron James.
He has 9 points, and you can add 1 3-pointer to his stat line also.
Well, you have to like a little bit of everything in the box score for him right now. He's really had a solid game.
Free throw good, LeBron.
And when LeBron joined the Heat last year, guys, I think he really wanted to play with a scorer. You know, LeBron's more of a playmaker, a guy who creates offense for others. And I think he pictured himself teaming up with Wade to be the backcourt of the future.
And both free throws good for LeBron. Going back to what Steve said about LeBron and Wade, Clark, it got a little contentious there, it seemed at times.
Well, you had to expect that to happen, Kevin. I mean, again, 2 outstanding players, 2 brilliant players trying to figure out how to play together. The fact is that LeBron, by his nature, is comfortable deferring. He loves to set other people up, and he's comfortable also taking over when needed. So I think the fact that it took a little while is overblown because that was to be expected. It's not something that was going to come together quickly and at a high level. Both
can be unselfish.
Exactly, and Wade can attack, and LeBron is fine watching him do that.
Here's Kobe. Gets hauled in by the Heat. Haslam's got his 4th rebound in this one. Out to Anthony. Wade outside. Picked up by Kobe. LeBron outside. Miller. Shot clock at 5. Here's the 3. Kept alive. Anthony, the pass to Wade. And it rattles out. Lakers trail by 13. Bynum kicks to Gasol. Now Anthony defending. Shoots from 12. The shot's good from Gasol. Gasol's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, you know, a rivalry fostered a bit through the media, that is, guys, when LeBron and Bosh joined Wade down in Miami. Basically, the Lakers became their de facto nemesis.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. Well, back to that moment, Steve, about what Clark just said. Kobe versus the Big Three was the theme. And they had some interesting meetings this past season.
Yeah, in fact, Miami's win in L.A. on Christmas Day, I thought was one of the key victories for the Heat all season long. It was kind of a we've arrived moment for them, and they used that victory as a springboard.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. Walton comes in for Pau Gasol. And Steve Blake is subbed in for Derek Fisher. Chris Bosh is checked in for the Heat. Chalmers comes in for Mike Miller.
You know, he's really one of those guys that you just have to sit back and really appreciate, fellas. I mean, he is a marvelous offensive player. Spoelstra was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing, and he was tasked with getting three huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
He can't find anything out there, and his misses are really hurting this team. Only question there was who was going to finish it. Easy, fast break.
Yeah, you know what? And I think they made the right call there, Steve.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Mike Brown is fully aware of the expectations in his first year as the Lakers head coach. He knows what he got into and understands what the Lakers consider success. Quote, "We don't play for second here." He will have his work cut out, though, given how the Lakers exited last year's playoffs.
Thank you, Doris. No doubt a lot of pressure on Mike Brown in his first year here in L.A.
Well, tough shoes to fill in Phil Jackson, and then, you know, a place, Los Angeles, where winning is expected. And if you don't win at all, it's been a failure.
Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. The basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs. But in the end, I think Erik Spoelstra did a fantastic job, and he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
They have really been a group of glass eaters out there today, fellas. I mean, just devouring any and all rebounds.
And I think that's the difference in the game right now. A double-digit lead in that category.
LeBron against Kobe. The shot by Bosh. Rebounded by the Lakers.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
To halt the run. And Kobe the bucket with the assist by Walton.
Maybe he can put his struggles behind him. A couple more of those, and maybe he'll get a little momentum.
Here's Haslam. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's now got 3 assists in the game. Here's our test. Here's Kobe. Solid play on the low block, and that one's good. Kobe's got 6. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. Don't go away. Back in just a moment.
Welcome to HP at the half. We got a blowout underway in Los Angeles. Miami up on...
Welcome back, everyone, to beautiful Los Angeles as we get a bird's eye peek above the Staples Center on a gorgeous evening in downtown L.A. Here's Kobe.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the Big Three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
Fisher and Kobe manned the backcourt. Artest and Powell in the forward slots. And it's Bynum in at the center position. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. Steve, back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in a win early December against the Cavs.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm and, quite honestly, never looked back.
Wade with the block, and they get it back. And Gasol gets it to go.
Well, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
Near the three-point line, it's Wade. That's good on the jump shot. Wade's got 10.
And you look back at LeBron's arrival in Miami and how it affected Dwayne Wade. Well, his shooting and scoring went down a little bit, but you would expect that with so many weapons offensively. I thought Wade was very efficient and really sacrificed his game.
Shot seems to be a little awry today, just off a fraction. They've got to have him pick it up, though, and soon.
Bosh dishes to LeBron. From about 16, and Bosh gets it to go on the assist by LeBron. And the Heat lead by 17. You talk about sacrificing his game. It was something that Wade had to do, as well as LeBron and Bosh when they all came together in Miami.
I think it's a major adjustment for all three, maybe more so for Wade and Bosh than LeBron. I think LeBron is comfortable being a facilitator. As a matter of fact, I think he likes that most about playing basketball.
Really?
That's what I seem to see him get the most enjoyment out of. Passing the ball, setting other people up. And his brilliant talent dictates that he has to do more in order for his teams to win. So I think for Bosh, who had been a prominent focal point of the offense for Toronto, and for Wade, who's been unbelievable throughout his career, they probably had to make a bit more of an adjustment than even LeBron did.
You know what's interesting about LeBron with his size and the power he puts in back of every pass, those cross-court passes look effortless, but you need a strong throw to get it over there and on the money.
Yeah, that's his greatest attribute, other than his ungodly athleticism.
Yes.
And speed. His passing ability is really special.
And the Heat call time here.
You know, for so long we've seen the Lakers coast into the playoffs, put themselves in a tight spot and then find a way out of it. But in that series versus Dallas in last season's playoffs, they really looked like a tired and overmatched team.
Here's Chalmers. He has 5. And for the Lakers, Kobe said, Clark, after that series, we've been playing with fire the last 3 years. Now we finally got what we deserve. Steve, that is a very interesting quote. Take it apart for us and delve into it.
Well, I think the Lakers had been to the finals for 3 straight years, and I think they were worn out emotionally. And for a couple of those playoff series over the years, they did play with fire and get away with it. Not last year. Dallas just destroyed them, and I think the Lakers just looked tired, both physically and mentally.
Odom against Bosh. Back to Wade. For 3. That's good. Wade's got 5 points in the quarter.
Boy, he's been so cool out there, composed, never rattled. I mean, a very steady contributor to the offense.
Kobe against Wade. The shot by Kobe, no good.
Tell you what, things just aren't bouncing his way this quarter.
LeBron James on the wing, covered by Barnes. Goes up from the top of the key, and he nails the jumper. 15 points for LeBron.
He's put on an offensive clinic. They've got to deny him the ball.
And if that fails, then double him, Steve. I mean, they can't allow him to continue to hurt him like this.
Again, the miss by Kobe.
You know, there were questions about how LeBron would play in a new jersey. Statistically, he was about the same with the drop in points and a higher field goal percentage. He's a brilliant player no matter what uniform he's got on.
Goes up the baseline. Bosh misses.
He'll usually knock that shot down.
He sure will, but that's one he couldn't pass up.
The tray. And the Lakers with another miss. We're talking more about LeBron's stats. You're all over it, Clark. Steals, assists, blocks, rebounds. All look the same way they did in his last year with Cleveland. I guess, Steve, the difference is he played with another superstar. In fact, 2 if you put Bosh in there, and it was something that he was really aiming for, and it paid off.
Yeah, LeBron was never concerned about numbers. It's always been about winning, and I think he wanted to find some teammates that he could pair up with, and give him credit. I mean, he found a great spot in Miami. He's got a lot of talent around him. The numbers will always be there, but the big thing is winning, and he just wants to win rings, and that's why he made his choice.
LeBron James on the wing from 17 feet out. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers.
Chalmers has got his 4th assist in this one. Kobe, that's for 2. That doesn't go in either for Kobe. Now the Heat with it. They're on a 14-4 run right now. Now here's Chalmers. 5 points in the game. LeBron outside. 6 to shoot. Takes it up for the stuff.
Now, they're playing so well offensively, and that's led to this double-digit lead.
Guys, no resting on their laurels. They continue to get after it as if they might even be down. That's how they're playing, with that kind of attitude.
At the line for the Lakers, Kobe Bryant. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. Both teams deciding to change it up. And Kobe drops them both. Here is House. The Heat on offense. They're on a 16-6 run. Dishes to Ilgauskas. Bynum on him. Ilgauskas, the pass to House. And again, Miami with the triple.
They're just getting better offensively as the game goes along, making good choices and getting high percentage shots.
And they're playing hard and playing smart too, Steve. They've just been very, very good.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. What can you say, LeBron James? What an impressive effort today.
Yeah, so far in this one, he's played a different role than normal.
Fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Let's go to Doris first.
Well, Kevin, for that great stretch the Heat just put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. Points have been few and far between against this defense, and it's why they keep adding to their lead. They are in complete control as we head to the 4th, guys.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that run, Clark, really changed the complexion of this game.
Yeah, it sure did. I thought it stirred something up in them that got them on a good run.
Yeah, got the ball rolling for them, and they were able to keep it going from there, guys.
So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. They've got House. Juwan Howard is out there with Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Then it's Mike Miller. And it's Jones in at the 3, the small forward.
Boy, I tell you, the Lakers are always tough on their home court. I mean, visiting teams can get a little starstruck, too. I mean, all kinds of celebrities hanging out in the crowd. Just as many famous people watching as actually playing in the game when you go play the Lakers.
And so he makes both from the line. Going back to that Lakers home record, 30-11. Last season, tied for the 5th best home record in the league. And Steve, you start overlapping, the star watching at the games, the good play on the floor. That's quite a scene.
It's a great scene. One of the great venues in the NBA. And the Lakers, they're competitive year in and year out. And they'll continue to be a tough team, whether it's at Staples Center or on the road.
Can't hit. And it's the Lakers taking it the other way. Pulls up. Brown is tagged with the loose ball foul. That is his first foul of the game.
He was climbing all over the defender on that one, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, a pretty easy over-the-back call right there, partner.
Miami controlling the game. Here is House. Guarded now by Lamar Odom. And again, it's the Heat missing. Brown outside. with the shot. Odom's shot, good. Here is House. On the wing, Miller. Picked up by Brown. Jones for three. Lamar Odom pulls it in. Here are the Lakers with the ball. Beyond the arc. And it's Artest missing. Launches a three. Gets it to go.
They're in a groove now. These three-pointers just falling at will here in the second half.
Yeah, I think the defense has got major headaches because this team's just not missing.
From deep three-point range. Again, the miss by Odom. And Miami has possession. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. And here is Bynum. Stops, pops, and again, no good by the Lakers.
I don't like that shot at all, guys.
I'm right with you, Steve. Certainly when you talk about shot selection, that's as poor as it gets.
Clark, we'll see if someone can end this dry spell.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, both teams really having trouble getting good shots.
Well, shot selection is so key. They need better ball movement, both sides really, because this game has gotten a little stagnant here.
There's Miller with the three. Odom grabs the board. Odom's got 4 rebounds in this game. Deflected and stolen by Miller. Here is House. Back to Jones. The three. That's good. Jones has got 6 in the quarter.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this deep.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
Timeout called the Lakers. They're losing by 30. 1:56 left in the fourth.
Well, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Kobe's checked in for Brown. And Derek Fisher is subbed in for Steve Blake. And again, the Lakers, no good. And back to Miami. You know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA. And there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there, huh?
I agree, no doubt about it. But I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody for you. And quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
Here's Chalmers over Artest. Can't get it to go. And the Lakers go with it the other way. Outside, Kobe hands it from downtown. Kobe's got 13 points here in the second half alone. Miami controlling the game. They've only given up 5 points here in the fourth quarter. LeBron right side. Picked up by Artest. Bosch in the post. Guarded by Odom. Good.
Well, they're just trying to run clock now. I mean, this thing is pretty much over.
Yeah, there's nothing but the result to be determined. So it's time to start thinking about the next game now.
Bryant. That doesn't go in either for Kobe.
Right now, he's in a bit of a funk. I'd look for them to look at other options on offense.
Here's Chalmers, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, guys, thinking back to Chalmers in the NBA Finals last year, he was one of the Heat's role players that I thought really ramped it up in a tough series and helped out the Big Three quite a bit.
And he makes the first.
Well, you brought up Chalmers, Clark. I mean, he was really, really good in that final series against Dallas. He knocked down his three-point shots, did a nice job of running the club, and I think really made a case for being the future starting point guard for the Miami Heat.
And the Heat making a change here. Eric Dampiers checked in for Joel Anthony. Juwan Howard comes in for Chris Bosh. James Jones, he's checked in for LeBron. And Mike Miller subbed in for Dwayne Wade. The Heat on offense. They're on a 13-5 run here. And Chalmers kicks to Jones. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist.
I think that may do it here. They're trying to put the nail in the coffin.
Well, just adding to the lead as we approach the final buzzer.
Timeout called the Lakers. They're trailing by 35. 15 seconds left in the game. Guys, your thoughts?
Now, they're not going to cash in just yet.
Well, hope springs eternal, I guess, partner.
So both teams making some changes here. Here's Kobe. From downtown. Cannot hit.
And, you know, the rebounding edge here has been key because they're getting a lot of extra possessions offensively as a result.
Guys, you're absolutely right. It's made all the difference.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Well, that'll do it. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, LeBron James.